When I started mixing the herbs, my mother now called me and recalled that message her mother told her. So that means she gave me this, the inheritance has been passed to me in this area. You can see when she now died, my passion increased, my knowledge, I was crazy, everything, selling my gold to buy books because I needed, I'm a pharmacist. I cannot just say just like that. If this herb is good for malaria, as a scientist, I need to say, why is it good for malaria? What is in it is good for malaria? So that is why I had to acquire the additional knowledge.
All right, Hajia Zainab, I know we can keep going on and on, but it's really time for us to go into the garden. As you have said, let's promote greenery. Let's see our own version of our Garden of Eden as created by us.
Thank you very much. Welcome to my garden. So, like I said,
all greenery.
Greenery, yes. Green pharmacy,
Wow.
Balancing the environment, reducing the negative effect of climate change and desertification. Can you feel the environment? Peaceful, cooling, pure air.
Despite the fact that
yes.
There's a lot of vehicular activity
yes.
this side of the road,
yes.
there's some peace.
Peace, because this is green. I say nature is green. And peaceful and calming, antidepressant.
Yeah, I think I
yes, yes, and anti-stress.
all this is part of the,
yes.
Of the garden, right?
Yes, very big. It extends down there.
Wow.
It's not easy. The whole place was like a lot of erosion here. I had to spend a lot to bring it to this place. Yes.
Okay, so we'll just take a seat and continue our
and enjoy the fresh air and
yes.
enjoy the best of nature.
Exactly.
No AC.
So where do we sit?
Let's go near the mango tree,
okay.
the lovely mango tree.
Can I?
Sure. Most welcome.
Thank you very much. All about nature. All right, Hajia, we've talked so much about, the pharmaceutical industry in Nigeria, herbal medicine and all. But coming to you as an individual, because it's been such a journey from all that you have told me, how has this impacted your life?
You see, I always say that, like when I was discussing with you, I said, when God has anointed you to do an assignment and you are determined to do the assignment or you are destined to do the assignment, He will always create a path for you. But what is important for you is persistent, consistent, strong belief in God, well-focused. There has been challenges. I told you earlier on I've been called Mama Lao.
Yeah.
In the negative sense of it, but I'm proud in the positive sense of it that I am a pharmacist privileged to obey the logo of the pharmacy, where you have the pestle and mortar. That logo signifies that the moment you have any ill health from an individual, as a pharmacist, you must produce a medication. And at times we call it extemporaneous preparation. If you come to me now, something is wrong with you, let's say a malaria. I'm here in this garden. I should be able to look at these plants and get you an anti-malaria. I showed you the eucalyptus tree.
Yes.
It's an excellent anti-malaria, well studied and documented. The mango leaves, you can see the mango trees. We have some other leaves, bitter leaves, they are there. It's very important. And even the moringa leaves. As we go along, I will show you some of these plants. Beyond their medicinal value, let's look at the economic value, the environmental factors. So it is better to plant plants that have multiple advantage, okay? Economic advantage, environmental advantage, and much more important, financial advantage.
Okay.
So these are areas that one can focus in, so that you are able to see the plants that you can grow. You see the red akalifi, which is good in the management of children with this ELA, they call it, when they have fungal infections.
Fungal infection
So
of the
these
skin.
are some of the trees you see around. So the journey has been challenging, but determination and focus. And now my colleagues are beginning to recognize what I have done. I'm invited to present papers. I've presented over 100 papers, both nationally and internationally. So I am glad. You see, my own difference is that I'm a focused person. I have identified, I have prepared my own identity, and I've been able to focus on that identity, and with God's grace, I'm moving on. So I'm unusual. I'm not like the ordinary person. You call a PhD person, he's focused in his own area. But I'm a multi-diverse. I go to the field with the practitioners to see the plants, the trees that God has ordained. I see them physically, I know them physically. And then I come back, I'm able to take some of those plants in the raw form. I formulate them. I'm sure you're going to see, you can see this signifies herbal product.
Yes.
You will see where we produce. But I want you to know that I don't do it alone. I have the locals that are trained that give me some information. And I have my staff that I've been able to train. And I'm glad you meet one of them, Musa Suleiman, who has been with me for the past 18 years.
Goodness.
So you can see that he's an asset. He knows the plants. When I sit to formulate, I ask him, measure this, measure that, measure this when I'm formulating.
And
so you always have to transfer your knowledge. And then my children, I have a pharmacist. You are going to see she's into medicinal plants already. She produces some teas, herbal teas. You'll see some of these teas already. She told me when she was in the university, she studied in Dubai. She used to be the best in pharmacognos. I say, of course, you have to be, because this is in the blood.
Exactly.
So these are things that are inciting and very, very important. But I want us to come home and look at these diverse opportunities
that we
have. It
will
lead to job and wealth creation. You can see the Chinese are coming to tell our youths they want to train them in Chinese traditional medicine. We shouldn't allow that.
Because
let's look at our own
can
first.
Also train ours.
Yes, I think this is important.
Now you said something earlier, which I don't want us to lose, the train of thought about. That you also collaborate with the people who have the innate traditional knowledge. So you're not just coming from what you learned from your grandmother.
No. It is important that the custodians of such traditional knowledge must be respected. It is important you collaborate with them. I always call them the dossier, the reservoir of knowledge of inheritance. You see, I always say that original copy and photocopy, the best is original. We are trained as photocopies to read pharmacy, to read medicine. But the original history of medicine, you can see it started with people who are gifted, who have the inheritance. When you go to speak with them, I have collaborated with many of them. I've gone to, let me say, there was a particular practitioner who has the knowledge of so many plants. Every day when I go to Kano, I visit him, I take my notebook, I write all the names of the plants he says. Then he will tell me, I say, I know the names, but can I see them practically? Because I want my knowledge to be complete. I want to be convinced beyond doubt. And that is the essence of my research, and that is the essence of my pharmacy. So it takes me to where there are all these trees. A funny one was, he said, I am going to show you a tree that speaks. I say, speaks? How will the tree speak? That would be very interesting. You know, he was smart. He said, Haja, if you want to see the tree that speaks, come as early as 9 a.m. so that I take you to the bush or take you to the wild. I came in early. He was surprised. I said, let's go. Somewhere behind Bayero University, Kano, they have a lot of different trees. So he took me around. He was telling me the name of this. He was telling me the name. Then he stopped at a point. He said, this is the tree that is going to speak. I said, today I am going to hear a tree speak.
That speaks.
But you know what he did? He was saying some words. He said, you, this tree, you are the tree that I can use for this. You are the tree that I can use for that. You are the tree that I want you to use for that. However, product of this tree is God's gift. That is the speaking. I would have said, why didn't the tree speak?
Speak, yes.
From the knowledge of science and what he's saying, there are some plants that are in it. They do according to what you want them to do.
What you want them to.
That is why you see some of these traditional medicine practitioners will tell you, maybe that is the power of invocations. I don't know, when they talk to the trees.
To the trees or the plants.
Okay, but what he's saying, I understand that that tree is a tree, just like we have human beings that can be everywhere, and some that are conservative, some that are free-minded. They can be free anywhere. So
it
in
depends
nature,
on what you want it to do.
Exactly. So I believe that, because I also believe in that. That is where we say the practitioners speak to them. But in science, we will look at the components of those trees. They have multi-components that have the ability to do many various management of ailments. So he telling me that tree speaks. That is what he meant. But because of my curiosity in science, I followed up. And I got that knowledge, which is good. So such a tree, what interested me was that he said, I'm going to give you the tree that improves memory.
Okay.
So we're able to pluck the leaves of that tree, having said what he wanted to say. But I was excited because at the end he said, God gives. So he's not using his own power to say this is it. He said it's God that gives the power.
God that gives the stars.
And I think the tree too reacted, or whatever, the leaves, and we got the leaves. I dried them. He now told me I need to add lemon, orange, tangerine.
Okay.
Mix those
different citrus fruits.
So that I will have a concoction that is good for memory. Honestly, I did that. You can see I have my pharmacist I gave to her. And the lawyer, the one carrying the belly all the time, the one I was saying, you can see her very sharp. And it helps. So we can use some of these plants to improve memory, which is good. And God has given us some of those plants. We have the doom fruit, D-O-U-M.
Okay.
It's called, in Hausa, it's called Goriba. It's now a very good fruit. It looks like the brain. There's what we call doctrine of signature, like looks like. So that fruit, which is readily and lavishly and plentifully available, can be used in improving memory. As we grow older, the tasking we do, there's so much, and not only improving memory, it's also used for anti-stress. I hope before you, along the line, you should be able to get, I'll be able to get you the fruit.
Okay.
So you can take them in your offices as tea to improve memory. So many things like that. My practicality is going to them. Another case in time, he said, these leaves, I was writing the names.
Yes.
He said, this leaf is called, let me use the word he said kashazaki. Kashazaki is a Hausa word that means killer sweet. Killer sweet.
Killer sweet.
Can you see killer sweet? When he said it, I said, look at this practitioner. You have come again with all these, your dramatizing and saying things. But something said, listen to him. I wrote the word
killer sweet.
Delivers killer sweet. But as a scientist, what came to my mind is that if a leaf is a killer sweet, what does it mean? It can be used in the management of diabetes.
Okay.
That was why he said killer sweet. And thank God I did not reject his message. I got it. He gave me the leaves. I kept the leaves, Lola. I kept on saying killer sweet. Killer sweet. Hey, he said it, but can I get science to help me convince for me? In 2004, when my husband traveled to England, he brought me a book called Herbal Defense. He said, I know that's what you want, books.
Yes.
So when he brought that book, Lola, I was reading through that book. Then I went through medicinal plants used in the management of diabetes. Then one of the plant, botanical name, I'm trying to get the book.
Yeah.
But the common name is killer sweet. So I said, killer sweet.
He was right after all.
I said, this practitioner was right. I read, and then I read Gymnasium Sylvestra. I'm trying to get the botany. So I said, he said, killer sweet. This is widely used in India. A study was carried out where some percentage of people were given glucophage, which is used in the management of diabetes,
yes.
and then they were exposed to gurgum. They have the local name for the plant, killer sweet.
Okay.
So when these people were treated with this killer sweet and those treated with glucophage, there was more improved in killer sweet than glucophage. Hence, it is used in the management of diabetes in India. I said, this is my answer. What am I saying? The traditional knowledge is science. I listened to it. I now got the research that has been done through the book. I now have the confidence to expose, and I read much more
about it.
And I saw it was the same color, the same everything. Since then, I love killer sweet, and I try to put it as a herb, as a component in the management of diabetes. A lot of study has been done in it, and it's grown widely. So this is how you get knowledge. You know, the problem with we modern scientists is that we think we have the knowledge. There is a gap. The gap below is missing. We are in the middle.
In the middle.
And above, we will not reach there because they will never tell you your own is good. But if we go down, look at the basics. If I didn't listen to the practitioner, I won't get this information. There are so much information about plants we have got. Like I told you about the 3 wise men. Did you know the importance of those leaves? If you listen to the practitioners, they will tell you this. But because you don't listen to them, they will pretend and tell you it's so difficult. So I'm able to know even when they want to melodramatize. Because they will say that.
So you come down to their level.
They listen to you and they respect you because you have appreciated them. So through their knowledge, I knew a lot of medicinal plants physically.
This has worked for you as an individual. Now I'm looking at it on a larger scale because, like it or not, the truth of the matter is that it's easy for us to relegate such people to the background in the society and say, no, these are fetish human beings, these are babalawos, mamalawos, herbalists and all of that. How do we begin to merge their own knowledge with what our children are gaining from school so that we can actually promote this form of medicine?
Traditional. I'm glad. Let me come again to the ministry. So far, being there, we have been able to have another effective collaboration with them. We have been able to bring them as an umbrella body, and then we work with them in most of our committees for development of herbal products. We also train them to give them more addition in managing how they manage their environment. And we try to be humble and collaborate with them. Some of them are quite good. We are able to develop a document called Herbal Pharmacopoeia. And that Herbal Pharmacopoeia contains indigenous plants. We are working on the revised version of it. And we are also working on what we call the essential medicinal plant list. Because that essential medicinal plants is a document that contains these are our basic medicinal plants. So that even you can read and use it for preventive healthcare, first aid. The kitchen spice rack. Do you know the value of your kitchen spice rack? As mothers, as women, every home kitchen has a spice rack. You have so many spices. I'm sure you only take them as condiments to add to your flavor and food. But we are able to know scientifically much more than that. They have health benefits. They can be used as an emergency remedies, as an emergency first aid. So these are things that can help us because as a woman, you are a natural healer. You should start the healing process from home as first aid before we now transfer to the hospital.
For this kind of individuals that we're still talking about,
the practitioners,
they want
collaboration.
Quote and unquote, that are the lower end of the ladder. The ministry is collaborating with them. Fair enough. But our higher institutions, is there any form of recognition being given to them so that right from the level of training of our students in school, it is inculcated into their memories that, look, these are, they form an integral part of the transfer of knowledge?
You know, I like your question. It seems you are flowing well. You are understanding the process. You are understanding the pathways because these practitioners, if we do not have effective collaboration with them, they will die with the knowledge.
Exactly.
And we are lost. A lot have gone. But because of the effective collaboration, they are coming forward. There is a committee we set up now to write about the history of traditional medicine in Nigeria. I say write it the way it is, as raw as possible. Write it. Because when I go, I've seen Chinese traditional medicine history, I've seen the Ayurveda history, but we don't have a history. So let them write it. We will understand it and interpret it, even in any language.
Yes.
Because when you desire the knowledge, language is not a barrier. You can find out in an interpreter. So we are working with it. And now, what you are saying, at the curriculum level, which is very important, we should begin to teach our people, either at primary school or secondary school, understanding your indigenous plants. Just like we teach them our indigenous foods, or they go for traditional dance. We should also begin to include that. And we hope that that should be done, especially at the Ministry of Education level. We have some representatives, but you know, everything depends on the political will. And it depends on the political will and determination. And we must not lose focus, because we are quick to be the donors that come to Nigeria. Maybe let me say this. They come with their mission.
Yes.
And their mission is for their own advantage. We refuse to include the local content. I belong to the school of thought. While you are recognizing the donors, they are supporting you, also develop your own.
Yes.
Because a day will come.
Your own.
A day will come, just like the COVID-19, when they decided to hide everything. They could not bring it. Then you can fall back on what you have. But this is the time to start now. This is the time to give that support, get the research. We have our plans. Even in the management of COVID-19, we know. I know people were asking me to send them dogoyaro, the neem tree, which we all have widely grown, an excellent tree that has a lot of medicinal value. So, even the scientific world, we are now looking for nature. You know, there has been a lot of emission, contamination, chemical radiation.
Yes.
Professor Ujudud said, Africa may not have the high level of technology to make all this technology digital, but we are blessed with natural resources, which can be an antidote against chemical. That is why we are talking of the climate change. Nature is the best. We must begin to respect nature, because when we destroy nature, these are the challenges we are facing today. As long as, let me be also quick to say that in those days, we think by 2020, Nigeria should be among the well-developed countries. We should develop, we should have technology, we have this. I am weak to say, understand the kind of technology you want to have, so that it does not have harmful effects to your people. And you do not destroy, yes, a technology that has a comparative advantage, that can help your people and also attract interest. There is nothing you are going to do about computer that the Western world has not done. There is nothing you are going to do that, but you can develop your natural resources, and the Western world will be interested in it. Just like what we are seeing. The Chinese are coming, taking our baobab fruit, taking our herbs, taking our bitter cola, and we are looking at even the cola nut. Do you know cola nut is an excellent coffee? Yes. Coffee. Because it contains caffeine. We should add value to it. I have looked at the purpose of saying cola tea from cola nut. There's a way you process it, and the moment you put it even in it as a sachet form in your tea, beautiful orange color comes in. That is a tea that you can take. If you have coffee, Nigeria is blessed with cola nut. So we too can say this is our coffee.
Our own coffee.
When I took some samples for exhibition in Dubai, I was asked to come and showcase our own traditional remedy. Just December 3rd, 6th December. I said I'm going to show them some things. I just wanted to hear the let me hear the impression, their thoughts.
Their impression of it.
I had cola nut, I had bitter cola, I had the dim fruit, I have the desert date, I had the baobab in the crude form. I say I'm not telling them everything. I just showcased it in the crude form there. There were so many exhibitors there. I don't know why they captured the interest of my center. Even though I exhibited the crude form. They were asking me about cola nut. I said, this is Nigerian coffee. They said, could you give me a taste? So I had to be giving them like, oh, this is good. And then what came to me is that if Nigeria can put kola nut as coffee.
Exactly. You can imagine what we'll make from it.
We have a lot of kola from the southwest. The bitter kola too, we know what it is today. They are taking it, using it as an aphrodisiac, and even using it in the management of COVID, trying to do some trials from all the bitter plants we have. We too can have our so many things that are blessed.
So many things that we can gain.
So I hope that it's high time we look inwards. You can set up a committee to look into these medicinal plants that has potentials for value addition and economic benefits. Generating cultivation, you can cultivate them. The youths are looking. Look at the rice revolution as claimed. You can also have medicinal plants revolution. Common ephiri, I'll talk to you about the use of basil. This ephiri we talk about,
yes,
the bitter leaf.
Before you talk to me about the uses of, some of these plants, because you're really going to do that very well for us, I think it's time for us to take a pause on this conversation.
Okay.
And the reason is this. I have met you. I know you. The much I have seen of you over the years and all of that. But it's important that our viewers also get to see another side of you. And when I say another side of you, it's important that we get to meet some members of your family.
Okay.
A few people that have worked with you, maybe one or two members of your staff, or perhaps somebody who grew with you over the years.
Yes.
So that we actually know who Hajia Zainab was and still is.
Yes.
So please, let's just hold your thoughts there so that we take this break. All right, the program is still Executive Discourse, coming to you on the network service of the NTA. And I am talking with a woman of nature. She's all green. Talking about Hajia Zainab Sharif. Let's get to meet a few members of her family, one or two friends, members of staff, people who actually know this woman aside who we see on camera, and well, maybe the other side that I have been opportune to see. Let's get to meet some of them and we'll be right back.
I think she's making a very bold step because as a pioneer, she wants to set a standard for what she's passionate for. So I believe this is something I very much look up to chase my dreams and not care about what people say. Because when she started, when we were much younger, a lot of people were not aware. But I mean, you're here now. So it means she's doing a wonderful job. So maybe kudos to her. Believe it or not, we can count the times we've been to the hospital based on sickness, right? Because my mom, at stage, my dad used to joke that my mom uses us as experiments because whenever she sleeps, she wakes up, she's like, I have this idea. When she mixes it up, the children, we must take it. Whether we like it, whether we don't like it, it's bitter, it's sweet, we're taking it down. So when we were young, we didn't understand that. But now, that's normal for us. Within our friends, within our society, like everybody will want to be with us just because of the knowledge that we have or just being close, just being children of our mom. So some people, I've had people that just wanted to be friends with me just because of my mom. And it's not in a negative way, but it's just in the way that they want to know what I know. Because everybody's tired of paying hospitals. I mean, this is Africa. I'll say my mom, like every other African mom, she can be dramatic. So I would just say sometimes she reacts quickly, typical African mom. But I would just say, my mom, just like every other human being, they make mistakes, but like her good, her does her bad every time. So I would just say my mom is dramatic. That's all.
She's an exceptional human being. She's a person that knows what exactly she wants. When it's A, it's A. When it comes to discipline, it's always discipline. When it comes to nutrition, it's always nutrition. And when it comes to work, she's a workaholic. We always complain. Any normal person closes by 4, she's always at the office till 7. So I think she's a hardworking. Well, growing up, she's always not at home. And we're forced to accept that. Because we always come back home, from school, it's always, meet your parents to help you do your assignments and all. But when it comes to us, we always look up to our aunties. So immediately we accepted that. And I can clearly remember there was a time where like, why are you always not at home? Why are you always not at home? She said, okay, whenever you see me on NTA, are you not happy? We're like, yes. Do you see your friend's mom also on NTA? We're like, no. She said, so you have to accept that. and be proud of who I am. And we just accepted that, and it's just normal. It's part of us. It's always part of us, because any normal person, when you come home and complain, okay, you're having headache, the first thing is to take Panadol, or probably you're having flu. She'll be like, okay, get ginger, lemon, this. So it's always like, what's it? We're always different, even in school. So we just grew up with that, and we also advise our friends. Anybody that has anything, we'll just be like, okay, why not get this and this and this? When it comes to pepper soup, okay, why not add this and this? It will help and all. So we're cool with it. We are also doing it within our own capacities.
Hajia Zainab Sharif is an extraordinary woman. She is my mother. She's a mentor. She's a superwoman, because I don't know how else I can describe her. If there's a word more than extraordinary, that's how I'll describe Hajia Zainab Sharif. I can't remember when I have not really been with my mom, apart from secondary school, because we went to a boarding secondary school. So we come back home, and usually she goes to work and then comes back home late sometimes. But then at a certain point we got used to it, because we got to understand that this is what she does, this is what she loves doing, and we try to adjust to the timing. And yeah, it has always been that way, and we're already used to it. So I'm also a pharmacist. And yeah, I think people will think because maybe my mom is a pharmacist, maybe she influenced me to be. Not really. I have always watched her do a lot of things that I have admired, and then watching her do all these things made me to also become a pharmacist, to be able to help people, to be able to cancel people medications, treat people. So it has always been something that I've admired, and I also wanted to pursue the same thing.
Well, I want to believe that it's divine. She's called to do it, because it started when we were small. I think she inherited it from her grandmother. She always do, she's a pharmacist, but she always want to go into herbal. If you are sick, she will tell you that take this. And again, she doesn't eat anyhow. I always eat this one or eat the other one. She respects what she eats. She prefers her, but she'll keep on, going to the bush, picking this, picking that. Sometimes I will say, I wonder, you are a pharmacist, why are you doing something like this? If you enter her room, you will see always researching, doing one thing or the other. But it's today I know that she's been called to do this. It's divine. She didn't start it now. She started it even when we were small. I know her as somebody that is very hardworking, very, very intelligent. She sets her mind on anything. She works hard to get it. She's a disciplined human being. She likes justice. She's liberal. She's generous. She's kind. She can do anything for you to put smiles on your face.
Very simple, easygoing, highly passionate in what she believes in. And she always like to impart knowledge. She's passionate about it. She's knowledgeable. She wants to impart the knowledge. She has the knowledge. She can compete anywhere in the world. Give it to her. She's gifted when it comes to traditional medicine, no doubt about that. If we can I give her all the opportunities, give her the support in this country, left to me, I will give her Minister for Health, honestly speaking, because she's hardworking, she's versatile. When it comes to this profession, she can go to any length. She put her money, time, resources, everything to make sure she excels. Whatever she focuses that she wants to achieve, she's an achiever by excellence, honestly speaking. I am talking from the bottom of my heart because I know her. For over 10 years, we've been together with her. So she's really passionate, honestly. Really passionate.
She's very kind. Once he did something wrong, you understand. If she cannot even keep it in her mind, she will clearly tell you your problem and she will correct you immediately. So I like that kind of person that he cannot even keep you in mind. Whatever he did wrong, you come out and let you know. And truly, honestly, the way she showed me all her knowledge concerning traditional medicine, I really appreciate, because she didn't hide anything to me, especially concerning traditional medicine. She's very calm, and she just take me, like I said, like family to her, you understand? Anything concerning her family, she used to call me earlier to discuss with me, you understand? To hear my own advice, and through I used to advise to her nicely, you know. Till today, we don't have any problem between me and her or her family. So I'm very grateful.
Glad to know you're still here with us. The program is Executive Discourse on the network service of the NTA. Having heard from the members of the family and, you know, one or two people, did you hear what one of your daughters said?
Yeah.
That you're strict.
It's good. That's, you know, remember that, like I said, apart from being a widow, every mother, it's like an assignment that God has given to you to take care of these children, put them in the right way, give them the right discipline,
Yes.
and domesticate them as women. They are going to be future wives.
Future wives.
When I lost their father,
that brings me to the question.
Yes.
You lost your husband.
Yes.
You raised your children.
Exactly.
You created a revolution in the recognition of herbal medicine.
Yes.
How were you able to marry and manage all of these?
You know, I like it.
Because each one on its own is a task.
Let me say, when I lost my husband in 2016, most of the children were still in the school, university just starting, and we had to, you know, the issue of school fees, but determination. And I immediately said, God, you are in charge. You did this for me for a purpose, so take care of me. You see, when we lose loved ones, we should quickly begin. I know you feel the same. It is not easy, because I know you lost your husband, a very prominent medical doctor, a very good man and politician. We know in those days when we were in Lagos. May he so rest in peace.
Amen.
It's not
Same
easy.
for yours.
But as a woman, you just take up the task, because you are given with his, you are blessed with a special gift. But when you begin to feel sad, when you begin to feel devastated, then the devil will come into you and try to work on you. But because you know that whatever it is, God loves anybody better than anybody. He's the creator. He gives and he takes. So go back to him and align with him and believe in him. This healing comes spiritually. Apart from the spiritual healing, you are faced with the challenges. Call him again. He will open the journey for you. And he will take. And that has been the guiding principles. I was able to surmount, but I always appreciate him, because Nola, you know, those from the north, our husbands from the north, are very conservative. This is a man that gave me all the freedom to go and train in Japan in Kung Fu medicine, to go and train in Chinese medicine, to go and train in India. I had small kids. We say, okay, I will take care, let my sister-in-law take care, you go and get the knowledge. He will also say, whatever you do, remember this gift. I owe him that, and I know that these children should be brought up in a good way. And I'm glad God has helped me. So it's God's doing. And up to this time, I always keep on thanking God, and I appreciate that. And you can see that I'm growing from strength to strength in this field. I'm being recognized internationally. I'm invited to come and speak. When I speak, people get captivated and ask me. Then I said, am I saying something different? They say, yes, you are saying something that is different. And I begin to say, God, is that a mission? So I have realized that I'm meant to talk, to tell people about this field. Because we are neglecting what God has given to us. If you do not develop what God has given to you, you can never grow. We are in the middle. We can't go up, and the down is getting worse.
Depleted.
Because depleted. These people that have the knowledge, I'm glad we are collaborating with them, even though some are not cooperating. Because like you said, the research with them is that they don't trust some of us.
Yes.
They don't trust the scientists.
Exactly.
Because they think you steal their knowledge. But there has to be what we call the intellectual property rights, where you protect the right of the knowledge, where you may protect the right of the formulation. This is what we are advocating, advising them, creating awareness. But thank God, some of them are understanding, and they realize that if they continue the way they are, they will not grow.
And they
So
will
they
die
need
with
to
the
be,
knowledge.
yes, you need to take risk. Life is about risk.
Risk,
So
yes.
they need to accept that, and with God's growing and putting going through the right process, having their products, doing research of their products, having them sign the intellectual property right aspect, I think we are good to go, just like the Indians and the Chinese are
Yes, because I mean, those
Yes.
have actually,
they
made
know what they are
good
doing.
of
They
what they're
know.
doing.
You know, Lola, let me tell you, when I was in China studying their traditional medicine, the professor took us outside to show us a botanical garden. Then he showed us some plants. He said, this plant, this plant, this plant. We're 10 Africans. He now said, this plant, we so much cherish it. So I looked at the plant, I laughed because I
Why?
know what it is.
Oh,
So the other African said, do we have this in Nigeria? I mean, do we have this in Africa?
in
I laugh.
Africa,
Because I have
you
been
know
able
you
to
have
go
it in
below.
abundance.
Go below, make the practitioners identify the plants. It is a plant called Senna augustifolia, which is a common vegetable plant, which we use to make soup in the northern part of Nigeria.
Oh my.
Soup. You know, they said, ignorance is a disease that no doctor can cure.
Can cure.
It is really a disease. You can imagine. I was the only one who knew what that plant. And these are people who are scientists. So you can see, because they did not go down to learn.
Yes.
So they are learning in the middle.
In the middle.
We need to break that.
So it's a suspended form of learning.
Yes. And so where are we heading to? And if you want to look up, go to them. They say the raw materials must come from them. Below, you say they are not good. Thank God that I knew this earlier, and I'm working that, and it has given me some basic information, and I'm a real and practical pharmacist.
Wow, that's interesting.
And a natural healer.
Yes, that's very, very
Thank
good.
you.
As we begin to round off this conversation, Hajia Zainab, I know that you're all about greenery. You're
Yes.
all about nature.
Sure.
And you're all about the promotion of herbal medicine, natural medicine in Nigeria, and way of life. But I also know that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy or Jill a dull girl. How do you relax?
You see, that's a very interesting question, and my kids always ask me that I try to relax. You know, I love reading. I don't know whether reading is relaxing, but somehow you can see the garden. I come to here, relax with the green, and I like chatting people, telling them about what they can do. You see, I feel that I'm a bundle of knowledge. I want to share that knowledge. So I get excited when people around me, I tell them the benefits of natural healing. I am happy. And then they take some of this knowledge, they go. And I love cooking. I say, herbalist, you know, I can make any soup anyhow. I can just go into the kitchen and formulate any soup.
Okay, so I think
the soup will be nice.
See you cooking.
You know, there's a time I was to cook an okra soup. There was not enough dried okra powder. I had the baobab powder. I mixed them together.
What combination?
That came up with a fantastic soup.
You didn't have enough
and you remember,
dry okra powder.
Yes.
So you now made it up with
baobab powder, the green baobab powder. And the taste was unique. You know, you remember on NTA when I used to mix those things, I would take, can you imagine, Lola, I would say take 4 leaves of bitter leaf, take a quarter size of lemon.
Lemon, yes.
Take 1 carrot, medium-sized carrot. Take onions. You know, you say, what is this woman talking about?
What is he talking about now?
By the time you mix it, ask the people who used to take my juice, your cameraman.
Yes.
We cannot explain. That is nature. So you'll be able to get this, you wonder. So I'm able to do that. And I like, you know, I like dancing. I like dancing because music is a food of love. Play on.
Play on.
So that the appetite
What kind of
not
music
sink in.
do you dance to?
Any music.
Okay, so I think
any music somehow.
I think you owe
but
me
I like
two
the
things.
old school.
You owe me
because
two
they are
things
full
now.
of meaning.
Yes.
Yeah, I like the old school. Dolly Parton is my beloved.
Oh.
I love Dolly Parton. And then which one that said No Woman, No Crime? I like that song. And then say Who Made the World? Is that God made the world.
God
Who made the man?
world, who
God,
made
you know,
the
I
man?
love to know. You know, everybody wants to
Wants
know.
to
And
know.
when he's saying that, he's saying, who made the trees? Who made this?
Exactly.
I think
God
those
made-
are
God
philosophical.
made it all.
So
Okay,
I love those
so
kind
in
of
that
music.
regard, you owe
But
me
this
two
modern
things.
one that they are jiggy jiggy jiggy
No,
jiggy.
don't worry. I mean, let's leave the jiggy
Davido's.
jiggy. Yes. No, let's leave those ones
Okay.
for the people that enjoy
I
them.
like the Yoruba dance, you know. I lived in
Two
Lagos.
major things you owe me: cooking and dance.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I know
Although not a good dancer.
on national television, she is owing us. I'm not just the only one she's owing. She's owing us. She's owing me. She's owing you, my viewers. So I'm sure that before this program comes to an end, we just might see her, you know, jiggling and wiggling a bit and also doing some cooking.
I am making a kind of special soup, and I will call it medicinal plant zogale soup. We are going to add all the ingredients, and the time will be enough for all the ingredients to cook. I'll start by taking the quantity of pepper and onions. Then let's add our crayfish. We can add our fish. We can also add our stockfish. So let's take small quantity of palm oil. So let's give it time to get set before we add the additional ingredients. I'm going to add the basil. So now the main ingredient, let's add it. You know, it's a bit hard, so we give it about some time to cook. Let's see the quantity we are going to add. Now I would want to add my grains of paradise, the spice, okay? Just some quantity of it. 2 minutes for the moringa to get a bit soft. Not too long, not too much, so that I don't lose the nutrients. Here we have the moringa leaves, zogale leaves, and we have the basil leaves, that is the nchau, the efiri, combined together in this special soup. Let's see. Add the granite paste. If you feel it's not thick enough, you can always add more. That's the purpose of the granite. So let's make sure we get the consistency we want for our soup. You know, we allowed it to cook and then added granite as a thickener, and then we say, let's leave it. I kept on trying to make sure that the quantity of granite is enough to thicken it. So I added more granite to get the right consistency. Thick enough. This is good enough for us to go and be ready with the soup. You know, the soup is ready. And I love yoga, you know. I want to encourage
It's
more
a
of us to do
form
yoga.
of relaxation.
I had to study yoga, and I got the intricacy in yoga. It's fantastic. I'm encouraging especially women. It gives you flexibility of your body. You know, at times we have the chair, you feel You say your waist, your this thing, because you have misappropriated the connection, the collagen, the things that connect. But yoga teaches you to be flexible. Your hands are flexible. I'm sure if you stand up and I say, put your legs on this and stand for 30 minutes.
Okay.
Or let's say 10 minutes.
Cross my legs.
Cross your legs, seriously. You will see that you cannot stand because you have lost flexibility. But a real yoga will be able to stand. When my daughter was teaching us, every evening we do that about 30 minutes at home. I say, Kai.
Good.
And then when you know, one way to remove flatulence is through yoga. Can you believe that? There is a way you raise up your legs, and before you know it, the gas is coming out. I used to laugh. So these are good ways. And I like water. I like going to where there is water, seeing like beaches. Nature is my love. I love nature because so much nature.
I see
that. And I like staying peacefully with people. But, you know, I I belong to the school of thought. I like to say the truth. And it seems to some at times it gives me a disadvantage. But if something is happening here and I know the truth, I have the knowledge, I can't keep quiet.
Say it.
I want to say it.
Yeah, I think
I want to say it.
I think one
And
of
at
your
times
daughters
people don't
said
want me to say it.
that you're blunt.
Yes, they don't want me to say it. Like when I was talking to my honorable minister, I said, sir, let's use the traditional medicine people for advocacy. Because I know what they do at that level. Even though my other colleagues were there, I spoke. I have no regret. Because I believe that, oh, no, you must speak when it is right. I mean, not to speak when it is wrong. You gave me the audience. NTA gave me the vocality. NTA gave me the visuals to be able to talk. And when you see me talking, even when people were not believing in traditional medicine, I was saying it. But people of wisdom and knowledge knew what I was doing. And today is history. I have my colleagues calling me to come and present paper. They want to learn traditional medicine. Is that not kudos?
It is.
So thank God I'm well focused and I continue to be focused.
Yes, well done.
Thank you.
Well done. And finally, on this program today, you've said so much, we've heard so much. I want you to look at the camera.
Okay.
Speak to the consciousness of Nigerians. This is a gold mine we are sitting upon, which remains untapped.
Yeah.
This is knowledge for you and I, and for generations yet unborn. This is a way Nigeria can revolutionize the world. Speak to the consciousness of Nigerians.
You know, I want to speak to Nigerians like I always say. I've said it once. I say as Africans, because we are the leaders in Africa, we must believe in Africanism, practice Africanism, and promote Africanism. Come to Nigeria. You must be patriotic, believe in Nigeria, practice Nigeria, promote Nigeria, and be Nigerialistic. Look at this aspect that God has given to us in the aspect of natural resources, with focus on what my expertise is in the aspect of natural medicine, in the aspect of medicinal plants, in the aspect of herbal medicine, gifted with so many species of medicinal plants, over 8,000 that is yet untapped. We are bedeviled with so many diseases. We do not have, the healthcare system is not focused well. We are still having high rate of maternal and child mortality because we refuse to understand the basics. It is time we must bring these three healthcare systems together. If we must, and again, if we must reach and accept and attain the universal health coverage, you must promote your traditional medicine through science. You look at the conventional medicine, we have no problem. You must bring in complementary medicine. When the three are together, there is synergy, there is enhanced healthcare, with focus more on preventive healthcare. Our traditional foods are good for us. Mothers, teach your children how to eat their traditional foods to reduce all this obesity, to reduce these early child diseases. You see, young people are having obesity, and then we must believe in our own, promote our own for economic benefits. Let the young and the youth know that in medicinal plants we can cultivate value addition to be able not only to get medicines, we can also be able to get therapeutic foods, which the other world is looking for seriously. Okay? And the beautiful women whom I encourage not to bleach. In these natural products, we have excellent natural body care products that can beautify your skin, moisturize your skin, and enhance your beauty naturally. So Nigeria, it is time. We believe in us, we become patriotic, and we do what is good for us, utilizing what God has given to us for the benefit of our people. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Hajia Zainab. It's
pleasure.
really been a pleasure, as always, speaking with you and spending this lovely time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. You must come and eat my herbal food, so no excuse for that. I
No
told
excuse.
You. Thank you.
No excuse at all.
So let's go to the garden and see more
Yes, before we
leaves.
go to the garden,
Yes.
it has really been a wonderful time today. We have over 8,000 species of plants that are yet untapped. Nigeria is sitting on a gold mine. Nigeria can revolutionize the world through natural medicine, through herbal medicine. We can incorporate those at the lower rung of the ladder into the world of science. And of course, we will take the world by storm. Those are the things that I have learned from my conversation today with Hajia Zainab Sharif. It's been a wonderful time, and I do hope you've learned one or two things. The women You've learned that there are things you can use to beautify your skin without necessarily looking for the chemical products. And that's the size of our package today. That's where we draw the curtain on this week's episode of Executive Discourse, which has been on the network service of the NTA. I remain Ololade Adeniji Adele. Till we meet again same time next week. God bless you. God bless Nigeria. And please keep believing in this great country. We will get there. Bye-bye.